I'm Turk Strongman at Mind Voltage Institute. We commence now with Chapter 2 of Yogi Ramacharaka's Science, or alternate title, Manual of Psychic Healing, a sequel to Hatha Yoga. Before I get started, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, take a moment right now to do so, please. That way you can also activate the notification bell feature and be apprised of our new uploads. Additionally, just below the media player window, there's a thumb up icon. Please click on that to immediately and easily share the joy of this channel with others. And then just a little further down in the video description area, there is donation by PayPal information. Chapter 2. Natural Laws of the Body. As we have stated in our last chapter, we believe that the true secret of health lies in the observance of the natural laws of the body. These laws may be summed up as right living and right thinking. Excuse me. In our book, Hatha Yoga, we have explained our conceptions of these laws at considerable length and detail. We do not hesitate to state positively that every healer or searcher for health should acquaint himself with the instructions given in that book. Without an understanding of these fundamental laws, any and all forms of healing are but temporary makeshifts, and the patient, if he pursues the former improper modes of living and thinking, will relapse into his old condition when the treatments are discontinued. There can be no successful defiance of natural laws. In this chapter, we will run briefly over the principal laws described in Hatha Yoga for the benefit of those readers who have not acquainted themselves with the contents of that book. But this chapter cannot begin to give the Hatha Yoga instruction fully, for that fills a good-sized book of itself. In the first place, there can be no health without proper nutrition. And there can be no proper nutrition without proper assimilation. This being granted, it may be seen that one of the first things for a healer to do is to reestablish normal conditions in this respect and build up proper assimilation. This is why we have urged the healer to begin all treatments for all kinds of complaints with a treatment of the stomach to restore normal conditions there. The stomach should be treated first, last, and always, for there lies the secret in the first step toward recovery. In fact, the majority of diseases may be traced directly to the stomach and to imperfect nutrition and assimilation. A man can no more thrive on non-nutritious food or food imperfectly assimilated than can a tree or plant or animal. Imperfect nutrition causes the blood to become poor and weak, and consequently every cell in the body becomes weakened and starved, and even the brain cells suffer with the rest and are unable to send the proper currents of vital force and energy to the other parts of the body. Always begin treatments by treating the stomach thoroughly by whatever method you use. Insist that it take care of the food giving it, and that it assimilates the food and converts it into good, rich, nourishing blood, which will flow to all parts of the body, giving health and strength. And insist upon your patient partaking of nourishing food in sufficient quantities. One of the best ways to get the full nourishment of the food partaken is by perfect mastication. Food perfectly masticated gives the full amount of nourishment contained within it, which food, half chewed and bolted, wastes the greater part of its nourishment. We urge the importance of this matter upon the healer. We have seen cases of ill-nourished people restored to health and in a very short time, merely from the change in the manner of masticating the food. All food should be chewed until it becomes soft, pulpy, and pasty. The second important point is the irrigation of the body, as we have called it in Hatha Yoga. We mean the proper use of water. The physical system requires a certain amount of fluids daily in order to do its work properly. About 2 quarts of fluid in 24 hours is the normal amount for an adult. Without the proper amount of water, the body is unable to do its work properly and the system suffers. Perfect secretion and excretion requires the normal amount of fluids. Otherwise, the secreting glands are unable to manufacture the juices and fluids needed in digestion, absorption, and assimilation, and the excreting glands are unable to provide for the excretion or throwing out of waste products of the system through the kidneys and the bowels. The liver is unable to act without sufficient fluids, and the other organs likewise suffer. The third requisite for health is correct breathing. When you realize that unless correct breathing is performed by the patient, the blood is imperfectly oxygenated, and is therefore unable to perform its functions, you will begin to see why a person breathing improperly is unable to have health. Practice deep breathing yourself until you understand it perfectly, and then instruct your patient in the art. Our little book, The Science of Breath, gives full and complete direction for correct breathing. We advise you to acquaint yourself with its contents. Exercise, bathing, etc. are important things to be observed. The healer should inform the patient as to this fact. I'll repeat it. Sleep is a needed something that nature insists upon. Without a sufficient degree of rest, the brain becomes overworked and complications set in. In short, the patient should be instructed to become a normal, sane, natural being. Stick as closely as possible to nature and she will do the rest. The natural laws are designed for the furtherance of health, and if not interfered with, will produce and maintain normal conditions. The trouble with us is that modern civilization has drawn us so far away from nature that our natural impulses and tendencies have been smothered, stifled, and we have ceased to listen to nature's voice until she has become disheartened and has ceased to call us. The only sane plan is to get back to nature, as near to her as possible. Live as natural a life as possible, and you will have the reward that nature bestows upon those who are true to her. Our book, Hatha Yoga, is a yogi conception of the natural life. Natural life is taught on every page. It holds that there is a great intelligence permeating all life, and that every natural law is a divine law, and should be so regarded and observed. We urge upon every healer the duty and the privilege that is his to educate and inform his patients, to whose aid he has called in these laws of right living and right thinking. This particular book is not designated to repeat the instruction contained in Hatha Yoga, but instead is designed to supplement it to the end that those who have violated nature's laws and who are suffering therefrom may be speedily brought back to normal conditions, a condition of health, and again started on the road of life. The healer should be more than a healer. He should be an instructor and an educator of the people. In this way, he makes his calling a divine and sacred one, instead of that of a mere tinkerer of bodies. Keep this ideal ever before you, and your work will be one of the greatest pleasures, as well as the greatest success. Remember the brotherhood of man, and realize that your work in the world is to spread the glad tidings of health and strength. And lead your brothers back to Mother Nature, from whose bosom they have strayed. And that concludes Chapter 2. In the next video, we'll commence with Chapter 3, The Instinctive Mind. The first sentence of which is, in our 14 lessons, we called your attention to the various planes of mind, and among others, the instinctive mind. And that concludes this video. Again, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, take a moment right now to do it. Activate the notification bell feature while you're at it. Go ahead and share the joy of the channel with others by clicking on the thumb up icon, and make note of the donation by PayPal information. I'm Turk Strongman at Mind